What's up? It's your girl Kia. So this is going to be the hardest video I've ever recorded. Not because I'm gonna cry or anything like that, we're past that point, but because it's going to be the most honest I've ever had to be, even more than the I Try to Commit Suicide video. This video actually scares me the most because, you know, it's just something that people don't talk about, but I want to talk about it because I'm having like this weird thing going on. But this video has taken 2 years in the making to even create. Every time I try to create it, I either feel guilty or I feel bad or I get scared or don't want anybody to know. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't want to disrespect anybody. It's this wide array of emotions, but I get things out by talking. And when you're dealing with what I'm dealing with, or what a lot of women deal with, there's nobody to talk to about it because no one wants to talk about it. And I want to talk about it. So on my way to the gym, I'm going to drive, well, not slow, I'm going to drive the speed limit, and I'm going to talk about it. So as you can see from the title of the video, I am dealing with fertility issues. Nothing in particular. It's just, I'm saying a lot because this is a weird way to start talking about this. Nothing in particular. It's really just that for years of, you know, not thinking about having a baby, and now that I'm 35, my window got shorter. So now we have to use, you know, medical intervention to try to have a baby. And I remember when this first happened, let me back up. 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, Omar and I had a miscarriage. This is not something a lot of people know about. We didn't talk about it a lot. Immediate family knew, and I've slowly told other family members way after the fact, because I didn't want them to feel like, oh my God, like this is so, I'm so sorry for you. I wanted them just to know that this is what's going on. Our miscarriage was pretty bad. The reason why I say bad is because we had to kind of make the decision that we weren't going to keep the pregnancy going to hope and see that a heartbeat appears out of nowhere. Like, I didn't just lose the baby in the shower or anything like that. I literally went to the doctor and the baby that was progressing just stopped. It just stopped progressing at about 8 or 9 weeks. And the doctor told us that it could just be something going on. We could just, you know, it could be delayed. You can wait to hear a heartbeat. So I had to make the decision, either I wait and possibly deal with something inside me that's not alive and then go through something else, or I just take the misoprostol pills, the abortion pills, what they call it, and terminate the pregnancy. And I decided to take the misoprostol pills. And that was a horrible experience again, because you are sitting up all night basically going through labor pains for about 8.5 hours. And, you know, you can't really do anything because there's blood everywhere. And that's just what it is. I'm sorry, I know that might be graphic, but that's what the situation is. We actually had a wedding we were supposed to attend, and we couldn't go because I couldn't leave the house. I couldn't leave a bathroom. So we dealt with that. Once that was over, we had kind of made the decision that we were just going to chill out, because that was so hard on both of us, on our marriage, on us as a couple. It was hard. We blamed each other. We were mad at each other. We were listening to other people make comments. You know, some people made comments of, oh, it's because you waited too long, or you're 33. But they're 33 at the time. And I would just roll my eyes at that. And like, I'm 33. I'm not 80. What are you talking about? Like, that's not really how this works, but I get your sentiment. Then other people would make comments of, well, Kia, you work out a lot. Maybe the supplements, or maybe just all the working out you did, it was just too much. And these are all coming from people who have no idea what they're talking about. They got their medical degree from Google or a Cracker Jack box, and now all of a sudden they're like, oh, I know everything about fertility and pregnancy. They don't. It was none of those things. It just happened. There's no rhyme or reason to a miscarriage. There is no rhyme or reason to it, and doctors will tell you that sometimes it just happens. Sometimes it's for a reason, but other times it just happens, and there's nothing you can do about it. 1 in 4 women will have a miscarriage their first time out the gate. And the reason why we don't know that it's 1 in 4 women is because no one talks about it. They just keep moving, keep pushing along like nothing happened. And that's what I tried to do. Was that the smartest thing to do? No, it wasn't. It was a year of really, you know, hardships for us, but we kept going. We started trying again in December, and we had 2 chemical pregnancies. What a chemical pregnancy is basically your body is pregnant, and made what it needed to make, but it didn't catch, like in the uterus or whatever. So it just starts your cycle like regular over again. After the second one, we were like, you know what? We're good. We're just gonna chill for a while. We'll just see what happens. It's not that big of a deal for us, and it wasn't a big deal for us. And I kind of went on this kind of search to see if other women had gone through what I'd gone through, and there's nobody who is actually in it who will talk about it. It's all these women who had their baby sitting on their lap and just saying, oh, it was a long road, but it was so worth it. Like, I went through all these things and it was so worth it. Okay, so what about the women who went through the billions of things and don't have a baby? How do they feel about it? I want to know what those women are talking about. I don't want to see the girl with the baby already or the 5 kids after 7 miscarriages. I don't want to see her. That girl, to me, you're talking from the happy end of the spectrum. I want to talk to somebody who's in it, like I'm in it right now, where you see your friends getting pregnant, and though you want to be happy for them, you really just want to say, fuck you, you piece of shit. You don't feel like that. I mean, you don't mean it, but you feel like that. You 1,000% mean it, but you just had that feeling of why her and not me? What did I do? I thought I was doing everything right. Crackheads get pregnant. Your alcoholic friend who sleeps with everybody has gotten pregnant. Your 14-year-old niece who just can't seem to keep her knees closed, she's getting pregnant. Why am I not getting pregnant? What is so wrong with me? And you go through this phase of feeling like you're broken and something is wrong, and why am I defective, and what did I do wrong? I thought I was supposed to get married and then have kids. Like, what is so wrong with me? You go into, and then when you start to try to think about having a baby again, your mind kind of plays tricks on you of, am I having this baby because I want to, you know, have a family? Or am I having this baby to prove that I'm not broken? To prove that I can do the same thing that the crackheads do? Or, you know, your 14-year-old niece can do. This is what kills me, because I've heard this from other friends who are dealing with this. They will say things like, she didn't even pass the 9th grade. Like, how did she have a baby? Like, she's gonna be a mom and she's so stupid, and her boyfriend, like, works at McDonald's. And I know that's not funny, but in my situation, I hear these other stories sometimes from women, and it makes me go, yeah, I get it. I totally get where you're coming from. I got it. That's how it feels. It sucks. It just happened. It just sucks. So you go through that, and there's been a lot of people in our life, and me and my husband's life, who have gotten pregnant during this period. And every time you hear a new pregnancy announcement, you write on Facebook, congratulations, we're so happy for you, blah, blah, blah. And then 5 minutes later, you're crying hysterically on the floor of your bedroom or in the shower. I mean, I remember a specific time when Omar's cousin announced that she was pregnant. And she's a wonderful woman. Like, it's not even about her. And I remember I found out while I was at Orlando Salsa Congress, and I was in the hotel room with someone else, and that person was in the shower. And that person said, out of nowhere, I started crying so hard that she could hear me from the bathroom and came out because she thought something was wrong. And she found me curled up in the fetal position, crying hysterically. Now, her pregnancy announcement came 3 months after all of this happened. So it was still kind of fresh for me. And, you know, I still kept plugging along, and you still say congratulations, but it hurts. And you watch these girls on social media, and it just, and of course, they're just wanting to celebrate their pregnancy. But I, at this point, think about all the other girls who are dealing with something, whether it's, you know, endometriosis, why they're having fertility issues. Why it's unexplained fertility, because that happens. Girls who have fibroids, who are dealing with fertility issues. Girls who maybe just missed their window and wanted kids, but they're now 40-something years old, and they're not wealthy, they're not famous, so they can't pay the $30,000 for IVF. They don't have a person to do the IUI procedure with. IUI is like IVF without the surgery part, but they don't have any of that. And then there's some women who just don't want kids. Kids are gross. My boss is one of those women. She has said straight out, kids are cute, but ew, I don't want to do that. And that's fine. That's no big deal. So there's all these women who have these different reasons for not having kids, but nobody on social media knows that. Of course, you're just posting your pictures, but you don't know how your social media makes other people feel. And I am one of those people who've gone out of their way, because I work in social media probably, to not post a bunch of pictures of my wonderful life and my happy marriage and all that kind of bullshit garbage that we put out to the world that may not be true, you know, that just looks good in pictures. That we just do because, oh, we're supposed to. We're supposed to post these pictures of our happy relationship and us loving and cooking together. You all know me and Omar do not do that. If anything, we may post one picture on our anniversary of us together, or if we go out to eat, it's something goofy like that. But it's never every other day or every 2 weeks or once a week we're posting this, oh my God, I love you so much, I just want to be with you. It's because it's you never know how other people feel about it. And I never want to hurt somebody's feelings. So that is the miscarriage part of it. So now going through the fertility process, you get poked and prodded and ultrasounds and exam after exam. He has to go do this. We have to keep all track of all this stuff. And I know more about my uterus than I ever wanted to know. Ever. I know as women, we should be in charge of our reproductive health, but there's some things we just don't need to know. I've learned more about it than health class will ever teach you. The amount of information that I know, I could probably go through a freshman gynecological class at some Ivy League med school. Like, honestly, that's where I'm at with how much knowledge that I have. But it would have been great to have somebody, and I know there's women who are my friends on Facebook who will watch this video who have gone through this, but no one talks about it. It would have been great to talk to somebody about what I'm going through, about the procedures, because the most recent procedure was painful, and I didn't know it was going to be painful, you know. It would be nice if someone say, okay, the one you're going through, I went through, you know, last year. They just do A, B, and C. It's no big deal. It'll like feel a little pressure and da-da-da, and then it'll be over. I didn't have that person. I didn't have anybody. And it would have been nice just to have someone talk about, this is what I went through. This is what I'm going through. This is what I'm dealing with. So you don't feel like it's just you. Because like I said, even though we know it's not just us, even though we know women go through this type of stuff all the time, it starts to feel like you are alone in this battle. And it's not even really a battle. It's just something that happens sometimes. You know, my brain stopped because I stopped driving. But I love my mother because she is doing her best to try to navigate me through this through prayer. My aunt as well, just through prayer. But they don't really have the knowledge to know, okay, this is how this feels, or I remember I went through this, because they've never been through anything like this. And, you know, shout out to all the women who are going through it. If anybody does want to talk about it, I'll talk about it with you, because I'm in your same shoes. You know, not for any particular reason, not because I waited too long, just because after a certain point, you need a little medical intervention. Like, you need a little, you know, fertility drugs, extra folic acid, not just some chewy, you know, prenatal gummy. You need an actual giant vitamin. At a certain point, I thought I was radioactive with how many pills and shots I had to take to get to a certain point. I didn't know that follicles and eggs existed and measuring stuff, and you got to come back and they say, well, take this med and then we'll remeasure you again, and then we're going to do, it gets overwhelming. And I know there's other women out there who might feel overwhelmed, or might not be sure if this is supposed to go like this, or if this is normal. And the word normal is subjective, you know. Who would have thought that popping a baby out of a tube this big was normal? But it is. Like, so I'm glad at this point of my journey that I can kind of talk about it and laugh about it. Because there was a point where every time I tried to do this video, every time I would stop. And I would get frustrated and angry, or I would cry, or I'd be emotional, or I'd be like, I shouldn't make this video, or people are going to know, and I don't want people to know, and I don't want people to feel a certain way. But I'm over that. I want other women to talk about it who maybe have to go through the same procedures I had to go through, and I can say, oh, that's normal. Oh, you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, do that. Be careful of this. Don't do that. Even something as simple as, hey, if you are going through the choice of getting pregnant, you know, through IUI or IVF, stop drinking 2 months ahead of time, because it's easier than trying to do it cold turkey. That's a lesson I had to learn the first time, and now I'm learning it the second time, and it's easier when you quit 2 months ahead because it's not that big of a deal. But that's just all stuff you learn through experience. So this video is strictly just to put it out there that I get where you're coming from. If you're going through this, I don't have a baby. I'm not pregnant right now. Like, I don't have a baby bouncing on my leg going, it's so worth it. Look, I have a baby. You'll get here. Just hold the faith. I don't know if you're going to have a baby, whoever's watching this. I don't know if this is going to work out for you. I don't know if it's going to work out for me. But I'm being real and honest about it, and I want other people to be real and honest about it too. So I'm going to stop this video. I'm not going to do the normal like and subscribe to my channel, even though I just said it. So drop that in the comments. If you see this on Facebook, drop comments out on Facebook. And I want to hear from you. So I talk to you guys next time. Bye.